The following program is a work of broadcast students from the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland over the past week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their BCIT instructors.
Today on BCIT magazine, Vancouver residents are facing rent eviction. RCMP stop identity theft. And North Vancouver longboarders face harsher fines. Hello and welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Colin Hope. Tenants are facing eviction from their homes in East Vancouver. The Vancouver Renters Union is calling this a heartless act of rent eviction. Matthew Van Deventer has the story.
It's very noisy. It's hard for me to get around on the scooter.
Sharon Mahoney has lived in this building for 22 years, but her time at this apartment is running out. She is one of 4 people left at the Richard Watson Court in East Vancouver. The property owner is renovating every single unit in the building. Mahoney, who requires special housing needs, is worried about her uncertain future.
Around here I've looked at 10 or 12 apartments, but for one reason or another, one, the ones I like, I have no vacancy. Number 2, that my dog's too big. Number 3, they've got no scooter access.
The Vancouver Renters Union held a press conference at the site to address the so-called rent eviction and to gain public support on the matter.
The renovations are being used to pressure tenants to leave. It has already worked for 12 of the tenants who left since the building was sold by BC Housing in November.
Certain areas of the building do need the renovations.
Just looking at the condition of the building, I mean, obviously there's some things that weren't built right to start with that needs renovation. There's no question, and why it wasn't renovated, during its lifetime, well, any time over the past 20 years, I don't know, but that's something we obviously need to work on.
But Renters Union organizer Kim Hartley says some of the renovations are unnecessary.
So the property manager is saying they need all the tenants out in order to renovate, but this suite doesn't need renovation.
The renter at this apartment says that there's no need for a change.
There was a fire in this building in 1998, so the suites that are occupied by the remaining tenants, their suites have already been renovated and are in good condition.
The construction has also brought its own problems, ranging from noise complaints to flooding.
So there was water pouring from the ceiling in the stairwell, and the hallways smelled awful of mold, and that's a good example of how disruptive the renovations have been.
Residents like Mahoney have until April 30th to leave their home.
We're probably at the end of our journey, but maybe we'll get some more time.
Matthew Van Deventer in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Burnaby RCMP have raided a major identity theft ring, making 2 arrests and seizing thousands of stolen IDs and credit cards. However, police believe the ring is still operating on a larger scale. Gerv Bod has the story.
Burnaby RCMP made a major announcement regarding arrests in an identity theft ring. However, the mood is far from celebratory as police realize they've only scratched the surface.
We have cut off the tentacle of a very large credit card and identity theft operation, but unfortunately there are many other tentacles to this monster.
The 2 suspects face charges of fraud, forgery, and possession of stolen documents.
The male and female who were arrested on March 7th have been charged each with 19 counts. Charged is 29-year-old Burnaby resident Anthony Pavo Stulik and 21-year-old Burnaby resident Stephanie Jean Smythe.
The group is highly organized and has even infiltrated Canada Post and hotel chains.
Even though we arrested only 2 people and 2 people are charged, but there are many others who are involved. Obviously, this is a very organized group of people. When our investigators took a look at 3 out of the 15 hard drives that we seized, we found spreadsheets containing over 44,000 individual identities of people, which included full names, SIN numbers, addresses, driver's license information, and banking information. Hundreds and hundreds of legitimate identification. This box here belonging to 115 people.
The authorities are still shocked at the size and volume of their raid.
This is very big, very significant. I personally have not seen a file of this magnitude involving this kind of volume of documents, payment cards, credit cards, identification, with so many spin-off areas that we still have to investigate. This is organized crime. And anytime you have a group...
The investigation is ongoing and more arrests are expected. Gervbod in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
Longboarders in North Vancouver could be facing stiffer punishments for unsafe riding, but as I found out, some riders are saying the issue is being blown out of proportion. Longboarders racing down the steep streets of North Vancouver have become a common sight. But after a boarder was hit by a car on Skyline Drive, residents have started asking for new rules to be put in place in the district of North Vancouver. Councillor Roger Bassam agrees.
There's definitely a safety issue there. It's a perception on, I think, both groups, both the people who are living in the community driving their vehicles, and also even the longboarders recognize there's safety issues there. Someone wants to back out of their driveway on Skyline Drive, and there's a longboarder coming down the road and we can't see them. And that's, it's a real fear. They don't want to hit a longboarder. The reality is there are kids, they're out having fun and pursuing a sport, but it's got a dangerous element to it, and nobody wants to be part of that problem.
Boarders don't see the need for the new rules, which include fines of up to $100 and board confiscations. As the owner of Rain Longboards on Lower Lonsdale, Graham Buska has been fixing and selling boards for more than a decade.
There's miscommunication between all the people that are using the roads. There's pedestrians, there's cyclists, and people generally know how to deal with these things. And now there's longboarders, and so you're probably using it for recreation, not to be a total extreme adrenaline junkie.
What both sides can agree on is that there needs to be a standardized set of rules for all of the North Shore. Currently, there are 3 sets of rules. In West Vancouver, skateboarding is limited to only skateboard parks like this one. While in the city of North Vancouver, longboarders are restricted to only sidewalks. While in the district of North Vancouver, their new set of rules could be put in place as early as this Monday, following a vote at District Council. Colin Hope in North Vancouver for BCIT Magazine. The province is facing a shortage of skilled trade workers, but the shortage is actually good news for women. Gervbod has the story.
Skilled trades have traditionally been filled by males. However, that trend is beginning to shift as women are now looking at the field as a viable career choice. Jeanette Stenzel left an established career to return to school and learn a trade.
Yeah, exactly. I was a hairdresser for about almost 7 years, and it was time for a change. I talked to an employment coach, and we were trying to kind of figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up. And this kind of popped up, and I was immediately was like, I had to go.
Stenzel says women are wrongfully viewed as clueless when it comes to the trades, and she's motivated to change that.
I always thought like learning about cars and stuff like that might be good because, a lot of females, we don't know what we're doing, right? And, oh, why is the car smoking? Why is this light on? So, it kind of crossed my mind that way, but it's kind of cool at the same time. Like, I can drive a forklift. I can run an excavator. It kind of feels good.
Warehousing. Kat Royvis also chose the trades as a career path, a decision she made because of the demand and a shift in how women view themselves.
In BC, there's a shortage of skilled labor, and that they're wanting people to take on employment in the trades, so the opportunities are there. The times have changed where more women are getting into alternative employment, like in the trades of all sorts, so it's just a field and an opportunity that is growing.
Both women are optimistic about their chances of finding employment.
My employability in this field can definitely grow.
And my chances of finding work are very, very good.
Both Stenzel and Royvis hope more women follow their lead and help lift the male-dominant attitude in the trades industry. Gervbod in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up after the break, a valuable artifact returns to BC, and a Vancouver bookstore closes its doors.
Hungry! Eat the rich! Hungry! Eat the rich! Hungry! Eat the
Let's slow the money down! Let's slow the money down! And get a piece of it for ourselves! Get a piece of it for ourselves!
Economies, corporations, markets, and currency. These are not forces of nature. We invented them.
We will take our money out of the bank, close our accounts, and move our money into credit unions.
Take it easy.
Take it easy!
But take it.
These tents need to go now.
We lost him.
If you're under 18 and want to get a tan, well, you're going to have to go outside and hit some real sunshine. BC is the latest province to ban the commercial use of tanning beds to anyone under the age of 18. We're now joined by Amanda Kumbos, who has more on the story. Amanda, what's the latest?
Well, Colin, BC now joins Nova Scotia and is the second province to put a ban on commercial tanning beds for anyone under the age of 18. Health Minister Mike de Jong made the announcement Tuesday afternoon and says the ban is in place to help stop people from getting preventable cancers. The ban comes after a study conducted by the Indoor Tanning Working Group. The study shows that indoor tanning before the age of 35 drastically increases the risk of melanoma by close to 75%.
Well, are there any other countries trying to ban indoor tanning?
As of now, France has a similar ban, and some southern states in Australia are looking to have an outright ban on tanning beds by the end of 2014.
All right, thank you, Amanda. A generous donation to the Museum of Anthropology brought a BC artifact back home after over 200 years. I was there with this report. The unveiling of a 234-year-old Nootka artifact highlighted a day of excitement at UBC's Museum of Anthropology. The piece, valued at $1.2 million, was donated by Vancouver philanthropist Michael O'Dan.
I must confess I had little sleep last night because this is one of the most exciting days of my life.
British explorer Captain James Cook received the ceremonial club after becoming the first European to contact the Nootka people of northern Vancouver Island. The museum's director, Anthony Shelton, says the intricate carvings of a hand clutching a globe show some of the finest examples of pre-European art in the museum's collection. For Margarita James of the Nootka Nation, it is more than a piece of art.
There's no Nuchana's word, according to some of our elders, for art. There's no word for it. And items like this were used, they were part of us, they were part of our culture. They now represent us all over the world as our ambassadors.
The piece also serves as a reminder of European arrival in BC.
You know, we live with the results of contact, First Nations contact, you know, and I don't know, for us, you know, it's an important story and one that I think we want to share.
After over 200 years and countless owners across the globe, the carving is finally back in BC. Colin Hope in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine. And the rise in popularity of e-readers and tablets has one local bookstore closing its doors. Matthew Van Deventer reports.
The Book Warehouse is turning the page and closing a chapter on Vancouver's literary community. The local bookstore has sold discount books for over 3 decades, but as owner Sharman King says, all good stories must come to an end.
We're closing the doors. It's time. We've run this for 32 years. We don't have the energy to continue, and it's an awkward time probably for anyone in the book business to make any long-term commitment.
Although it may not be an epic finale, King says it's the right time to step aside from the novelty of technology.
All of our fields change, and it's the change that keeps things fresh, but it's also the change that keeps things, shall we say, exciting or difficult. And obviously in books we're facing a sea change. We're looking at the influence of e-books, e-readers, different distribution models. We're looking at an evolution of the retail model.
It's not just books that are being left on the shelf. The presence of a hard copy is becoming scarce in the age of electronic media. But King says technology cannot replace the need for community in the real world.
These stores are community resources, and they will be hard to replace. There's no two ways about that.
An exact date to close their doors has not been booked, but a little foreshadowing indicates it will be soon. Matthew Vandevetter in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
If you have any questions or comments regarding this program, please visit us online at bcitbroadcastnews.ca or bcit-broadcast.com. I'm Colin Hope, and that's today's BCIT Magazine. We leave you with a shot of a modern-day printing press. Thanks for watching.